Hello and welcome to another episode of Control. Today we revisit the home of English football, St George's Park, and catch up with two of the FA's top coaches and ask them how a footballer's skill set can be improved to better your performance on the pitch.
Well, firstly, I think balance is very important in football, because what you need to be able to do is to be able to play off of both sides.
Balancing a player kind of takes two forms really, when it's being tested by other players.
Yeah.
So actually being able to stand up to force from other players, and then obviously when they're having to stand and strike the ball or change direction and all those sorts of things.
If you are tightly marked and somebody does give you maybe a little nudge in the back, you've got no balance, you will fall, you will go over. So it's really important that you've got balance on both sides if you can.
It's a key element that players need.
Football is a game of speed. And so what you need to be able to do is to develop speed, but in the appropriate times.
Speed's vital, particularly in the Premier League. What you tend to find a lot is that most players won't reach their maximum speed. It's normally over that 5 or 6 yards. They're most effective, so getting to the ball quickly, the changes of direction, getting a yard to get a cross in and that sort of stuff.
Off the pitch, I think there's all the technology which you can use around sports science and around the anaerobic capacity of players, how good they are, how big their lungs are, how far can they run. So all that kind of technology around it, I think is fantastic.
If you go into the Aspire area, into the fitness areas, they've got all the monitoring cameras for physio rehab and all that sort of stuff. So really, really vitally important.
Anything that gives a player an edge has got to be worthwhile investigating.
It gives us feedback on the tactical elements of the game and a lot of data that can then be used to move forward.
Particularly when players are trying to rehab, it's really an important area of the game, particularly because what you don't want them is people to come back too early, because you see many instances where people come back and they get injured again because they're not really ready.
The length of a season, they're getting longer than ever. Obviously, with the younger players, it's making sure that overuse injuries and issues around growth are addressed.
But at St George's Park, we've got a whole range of stuff where, not only just physios and doctors working and manually working with players, but we've got things here where we've got a treadmill. You strap yourself in, it's like running in water. And we've also here got a treadmill in a pool, which you can run or you can swim, and they can film it and to see actually what your gait's like, how you run, how your injuries is recovering. So yeah, all things like that is absolutely tremendous.
But then in the older players, it's actually getting them back on the field, because multi-million-pound players these days, they want to use the best technology and get them back as soon as they possibly can.
So injuries are inevitable, but then it's how quickly they can recover from those injuries. Absolutely. I suppose.
And having state-of-the-art facilities helps that massively.
I mean, look, football is a 90-minute game mostly. And if you haven't got any stamina and you're not be able to move around the pitch, then it's very, very difficult for you to have a real impact on the game.
It's really age-dependent stamina. If you're talking about the younger players, it's very, very difficult to do anything around stamina with them, because they tire really quickly.
So it's really important that you build up your cardiovascular ability so you can really play to your full potential throughout the 90 minutes.
When you start to get older, stamina becomes much more of an impact. Well, it has much more of an impact on the player.
It's really important that you've got awareness not just of the other team, but of your teammates, but also where the space is, where you might be able to play a pass in, where the goalkeeper might be, so you might be able to have a shot.
As you get older and go through the age groups, spatial awareness becomes better, players' peripheral vision becomes better, the pictures that they've got in the head that they can draw on become better. And if you look at somebody like a Cesc Fabregas or a Xavi, they always seem to be in acres of space, and it's really
they're creating that space, aren't they?
They are, but what they're also doing is recognising the picture of where to be and when to be there.
Look, if you haven't got any awareness, you might as well give up really with football. I never had any. That's why I never got anywhere in the game.
Some awesome tips there from the coaches at St George's. They've got a lot of technology to play with, but sometimes it's just a case of practice makes perfect, and improving things such as your aerobic capacity can and will make the difference. We've got plenty more episodes of Control coming your way soon, so make sure you subscribe to Copper90 in order to be the first to see the videos. Make sure you leave your comments below. This is your show as much as it is mine, so let me know what kind of things you think I should be covering in the series. Here's an interesting suggestion from Jeff to get the ball rolling.
It might even be worth, and I know you may laugh at this, it might even be worth to try something like ballet or something like that, Pilates, because really, really key. I mean, particularly on ballet, you have to have the balance to be able to do it. So that's core inner strength to be able to, keep your balance. So yeah, you know, that may be something that Dan should look at. I'd love to see him in a tutu. Maybe you shouldn't say that, should you?
That's fine. It wouldn't be the first time, to be fair.